Martine.
Oh, would you like it?
I'd ask Stuart to put a
Buzzer band to start playing a couple numbers.
yeah.
On the top of your service packets, you'll find sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Baruch atah Adonai. Chag Sameach!
You're all back. You're really back. And it's so exciting to be celebrating Simchat Torah this evening as we gather together. Tonight, we're going to rejoice. We're going to dance with the Torah. We're so excited to have shpilchas back with us that we all have shpilchas for the shpilchas. Welcome, shpilchas.
Welcome, welcome.
As our service begins, just a reminder, take a look around the room, locate the exits. There's one here, two on the sides, one in the back, and two all the way in the back. And always remember, we all play a part in security. If you see something, please say something. We'll be using the packet today, and also the words will be on the screen. And tonight, when we finish, we have a little treat for you, which we'll tell you about later. We're going to welcome our kindergarteners in a little while in our consecration service. And then we're going to finish reading from the book of Deuteronomy, roll the Torah all the way out on that table, and then start reading Genesis once again. A very exciting and full evening, so let's begin.
Together, a blessing. May your eyes sparkle with the light of Torah, and may your ears hear the music of its words. May the space between each letter of the scrolls bring warmth and happiness to your soul.
May the syllables draw holiness from your heart, and may this holiness be gentle and soothing to you and all God's creatures.
We invite you to rise in body or spirit for our call to worship. La 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. La 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 la.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreom balayla, golel or mipnei choshen, golel or mipnei choshen, vechoshen mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Please be
Please be
seated.
seated. One of our wonderful traditions at our Simchat Torah service when we celebrate Torah is to welcome all of our new kindergarten students to the school. There was a tradition that when children began studying, their teachers would take the letters on the page and put honey on them. And then they would learn the letters by tracing the honey with their fingers, and then they could lick it off, and it was nice and sticky and sweet, and it made learning sweet. And that is what we hope for all of you as you begin your journey on learning about your Judaism. We hope that it is a sweet one. So I would like to invite our kindergarten students up to come stand in front of the synagogue.
David melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. David melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. David melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. And again, David melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. David melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. David melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam.
And I'd like to ask the parents of the kindergartners to stand in their place as we're going to have you read in just a moment. Oh God, bless these children now and always. May the words of Torah always be sweet to them, and may the life of Torah bring light to their eyes and joy to their hearts. This day we consecrate them to you and your teaching. As they grow in learning, may they grow in wisdom, that they bring honor to themselves, their families, this congregation, and Israel, your people. Amen.
Amen.
Parents,
We give thanks for the gift of our children who have been entrusted to us as a sacred responsibility. May we find wisdom to raise them in the tradition of our people, the tradition of Torah and mitzvot, of love and good deeds. May this be a moment of consecration for us no less than for our children, for we too need to learn Torah and live it. O God, let such joy as we feel now be with us always, as we seek the path of life and goodness for ourselves and for our loved ones. Amen.
Amen.
in a few years, these students, it will go by quickly, but they're going to read from Torah. And so they begin the journey of learning Jewish prayer, starting from the first day they walk into Mrs. Gitlitz's class. And so we're going to ask you students to lead us in the Shema. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. And now I'd like to ask their parents to hold up their hands as we offer blessing. All of you can hold up your hands as we offer blessing to our children.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's countenance shine on you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God be with you, guiding and protecting you all the days of your life. And may you and your loved ones grow very, very old together in a world filled only with peace. And let us all say, Amen. And when we come to a special moment, we don't just let it go by. We say Shehechianu. We thank God for giving us life and for bringing us to these special moments. Please join. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'hegiyanu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'hegiyanu lazman hazeh. Now, parents, you may be seated, but kindergartners, first of all, I want to thank your teacher, Robin Gitlitz, who is going to give you a great year. You're going to have so much fun with her. And thank you, Robin, for preparing them so beautifully to lead us in the Shema. And I want to thank the director of our Hebrew school, Melissa Pescatori, who has organized a very special gift for all of you. Not only will you get a certificate of consecration, but the most fun thing in the world is Jewish sleepaway camp. And I know you're not ready to go away quite yet, but here is $200 towards a summer at Camp Harlem. And we have lots of scholarship available in our synagogue and in our local federation. And if you want to go to Jewish sleepaway camp or Jewish program, we're going to get you there. And we also have for you, Rabbi Falco is going to pass these out. a tiny little Torah, so that when you go home, you can practice being rabbis and cantors and marching around the living room. Hold on. So I'm going to ask you to come this way. When I call your name, come get your certificate and come get a Torah from Rabbi Falco, and you'll go off the bima this way. So Ruby, where are you, Ruby? Ruby Acker. Ruby A. There you go. Aria, Ruby, you're going to go this way. Go down this way. Aria,
Don't forget
go
to
this
get
way.
Torah.
Head that way. Emma.
There you go.
Emma? Who's Emma?
There you
Emma
go.
B. Emma? What's the first letter of your last name? What's the first letter of your last name? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Isla. Where's my other Emma? Who's Emma? Emma Bradford. Is that you? Is that you? Okay, come this way. Sebastian. Sebi,
Sure,
where are you?
don't forget the
Come here,
door.
Sebi. Come walk all the way around. Can you guys let Sebi through? Come on. Now, Isla. Sebi, you're going to walk this way. Come this way.
Hey, buddy, don't forget the Torah.
Isla, here you go. And Samantha.
Check
There
it
you go,
out.
Samantha.
You want one?
And Leo.
It's all yours. You got it.
And Hannah.
Here you go. Would you like one? All right. You're welcome.
Here you go, Hannah.
Here you go.
You're going to go this way.
Where?
And Blake. There you go,
Here you
Blake.
go.
And Sadie.
Nice work.
Is that you, Sadie?
Here you go.
And Connor.
Mazel tov.
Connor's not here. Thank you. Emma. Emma Kay. There you go.
Mazel
We're going to
tov.
head that way. Ruby. And Joelle.
Oh, don't forget your Torah.
She's not here. Russell.
Oh,
There you go, Russell.
Here you go.
Jocelyn.
And we got another one for you, buddy.
Reed. There you go. Abigail. Benjamin. Lucy. Wait, Benjamin, go around this way. Make sure to get your Torah.
Oh, don't forget your Torah right here.
And for our students, we say, Siman Tovu Mazel Tov. We continue on page 3.
With the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
In the middle of page 3, how do we love God?
We
We love God when we do good deeds each day.
Help
Help
us,
us, God, to show you our love in every way. How do we love God with all our hearts?
We love God with all our hearts when we love other people. Help us, God, to respect everyone,
to speak kind words,
to
to listen well. How do we love God with all our minds?
We
love God with all our minds when we
study Torah.
Help
us, God, to learn your Torah.
Ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bim bam, ya ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba bim bam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora Tehilot, Hosefelet, Nora Tehilot, Hosefelet, Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, Kokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai Melech le'olam va'ed. Ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba bim bim bam, ya ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba bim bam. Ay 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 ay, ya ba bim bam. Please rise for our Amidah. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi hagi tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'nehem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, mechayei hakol atah rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, mechalkel chaim bechesed. Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech nocholim v'rofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach Mechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh U'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
On the bottom of page 4, we read together, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lehodot.
We move toward the conclusion of our service by rising for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol Lateit gedula le'oser bereshit Shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot Velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama Shelo sam chelkenu kahem Vigor aleinu kechol hamonam Vanachnu orim umishachavim umodim Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar v'haya Adonai Lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. Please be seated.
We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. At this time, our community remembers the over 1,088,000 Americans who have succumbed to COVID, totaling over 6,548,000 in the world. We also remember those who are mourning during this period, the 30-day period of Shiloshim, Barbara Noodleman, Edward Jast, Judith Herling, and Charles Librati. If you are here remembering someone who has passed away in the last year, we invite you to rise. Otherwise, if you hear someone's name on the following list, we invite you to rise as you hear their name, and together we will rise as a community before we begin our prayer. Irene Green, Bernard Laps, Samuel Lipschitz, Irene Nathanson, Judy Pius, Charles S. Sobel. If there are any names that have not been added to this list of people whom you are thinking of this evening, I invite you to share their name out loud at this time. We take all of those names said out loud and wrap them with the ones said in our hearts as we recite the Mishaberach Lacholim, our prayer for healing. The Mourner's Kaddish on page 5 at the bottom. We rise as a community. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah. Be'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. Bechaye chon uvyome chon. Uvaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv imru amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh.
V'et hadar, v'et alev, v'et halal, shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved, as together we say,
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Please be seated. At Simchat Torah, we celebrate the Torah. It means rejoicing in the Torah. Our tradition has us read from the book of Deuteronomy, the very end. We've been reading it all year long since last Simchat Torah. Tonight we're going to finish it, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to go right back to the beginning. Why do we do that? Because there's always something new to learn from Torah. In fact, we have Torah study not only in our Hebrew school, but twice a week on Wednesdays at 12 and on Wednesday at 11 and Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock, because there's so much to learn about being Jewish when we study Torah. I always like to say it's like a Rorschach test, like an ink blot test. We look at it and we see different things in it. And every year when we read it, we're different. And so we find new things in it. And so we continue. How many of you have a favorite story that the second it ends, you want your parents to read it to you again? Like Goodnight Moon or The Very Hungry Caterpillar. They're good books and we want to hear them over and over again. And that's exactly the way that we treat Torah. So here's what's going to happen. Shh, everybody listen, because this is really important. The first thing we're going to do, see this long table down the middle? We're going to unroll the entire Torah, and I'm going to ask you to just wait a minute before you come to the table, but once it's all open, then we're going to invite you to come to the table, and we're going to invite everyone to bless the Torah, and Cantor Wally is going to read from the book of Deuteronomy. And then we're going to have to roll the Torah a little bit, and I'm going to show you some special things in the middle. And then once we've rolled it enough, we're going to have our 7th graders gather in the back to do the blessing over the Torah, and Melissa Pescatori is going to read from the book of Genesis. And then we're going to roll it all up, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to take out all the Torahs from the ark, and we're going to invite different groups of people to dance with the Torah. I guess we'll go around the tables, or maybe we'll go on the outside of the room. We'll see what works when we get to that time. So, as we prepare for reading Torah, please rise and we join with the cantor in the Torah blessings.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Elohim devarim. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim. Ha'olam omeid. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim.
It might be easier for
Al shlosha devarim. Ha'olam omeid. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avoda ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avoda ve'al gemilut hasadim. Once again, al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim. On three things. Al shlosha devarim. Ha'olam omeid. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim. Ha'olam omeid. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avoda ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avoda ve'al gemilut hasadim.
So the Torah is a very fragile, wait, no hands on it yet. Hold on. I'm going to tell you how you can touch and what you can touch, and parents help us so that we can keep the Torah smudge-proof. So when we read from Torah, we use yad, this pointer thing, because our fingers always have some dirt and oil on them.
Go back up.
And this writing is made out of wasps' nests' eggs that were never, ever hatched. It makes a really good ink. And a scribe writes it by hand with a quill with a feather. Can you imagine that? It takes a year to write a Torah. Look how long this is, and this isn't even all of it. It's written on a kosher animal's skin, and so you can touch the outside. The one thing you can't touch, and you can touch the back, you can feel it's a little fuzzy, but you just don't put your fingers on the ink, on the letters, okay? Do we all agree no fingers on the letters? Okay.
All
So
right.
everybody can move in towards the Torah, be very gentle, feel the back, just don't touch the ink.
And one thing to listen for, at the end of the reading, you'll hear a special melody that says that signals that we're ending a book. It goes like this. Yai dai da dai dai da 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 dai dai. And you have a special line to say then, which goes, Chazak, chazak, venit chazek. The words are up here if you want it. Let's do that one more time. Chazak, chazak, venit chazek. Let's do a community aliyah first. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Get ready for your line at the end.
All right, everybody, listen. The cantor's going to chant it with a special melody.
V'lo kam navi od k'Moshe B'Yisrael k'Moshe asher yada'o Adonai panim el panim. There never was again a prophet like Moses who met God face to face. L'chol ha'otot v'hamoftim, that God sent to perform the miracles and wonders Asher shalachu Adonai la'asot be'eretz Mitzrayim, that God sent into Egypt to perform these things, leFaro, ulechol avadav, ulechol artso, for Pharaoh and for all of Pharaoh's servants and for all the land of Egypt, ulechol hayad ha'chazaka, ulechol hamorah hagadol, with all these signs and wonders that God did with an outstretched hand, with a mighty hand. Asher asa Moshe li'enei kol Yisrael. What's your line? Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. That Moses did in the eyes of all Israel. And we get to do a blessing afterwards for all our Chatunei Torah.
Okay, so we're actively rolling.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
All right, everybody on this side, I'm going to ask you to step back from the table just for a moment. We're going to have to roll this a little bit until we can get to the beginning of the other side. It might take a few minutes. But as we do that, I also want to point out some things that you're going to see as it's rolling. So we're going to start to roll. This here, these columns, this is Moses' poem to the Israelites as he's preparing to say goodbye to them. Now they're going to start to roll. You guys move back just so I can get through, and then you can, and then you can come back into the table. Over here you see the word amen, amen, amen all over the place. These are the blessings and curses that the Israelites will happen to them if they don't keep God's commandments. And somewhere around here too. Oh, here we go. This is the Shema right here. There's a big long D. The blessing that the Israelites said, and the blessing that our kindergartners just said. It comes from right here. And over here, it says lo, 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 don't. It's the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments happen twice in the Torah, and that's one of them. This break here tells us that this is the beginning of the book of Deuteronomy. And, oops, I'm sorry. And now, if that's Deuteronomy, this is the book of Numbers. And in this, we're learning all about the Israelites and their rebellions against God. And this is Ava's Torah portion from last year. And over here, we have Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance shine on you and be gracious to you. And may God always grant you peace. There's another sticker from our B'nai Mitzvah. And here, this break here tells us it's the beginning of the book of Numbers. You'll notice there are no vowels in the Torah, and there's no page numbers. So you have to look actually for little signs along the way to know where you are in the story. Now, if that's the end of Numbers, then we're now in the book of Leviticus. And Leviticus tells us all about the sacrifices that the Israelites make in the desert. They build a tabernacle, and they make offerings to God for good things that happen, for when they make mistakes, and then also for holidays. This break here tells us this is the beginning of the book of Leviticus and the end of the book of Exodus. Now, Exodus, this area here, has a lot of, I know, these are the COVID stickers that were left over. The book of Exodus tells the story of the Israelites as they were traveling in the wilderness, as they leave Pharaoh and they go out to freedom. And in here, there are some interesting things. Like right here, it says, lo, 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 lo. Again, don't. This is the first time the 10 Commandments are mentioned in the Torah. That's where we find it. This here is really, really interesting. This is the Song of the Seas. You know how we sang Mi Chamocha? Well, here are the words right there. When the Israelites crossed the Sea of Reeds, I'm going to follow this because it's interesting for a moment, but they sing a song to God when they get across the sea after it's parted. And you'll notice that it looks sort of like columns of water with people walking through. So this, we always look at it and we know that that is where the Israelites left into the desert, into the wilderness to freedom. This break here tells us that this is the end of the book of Genesis and the beginning of the book of Exodus. And then this area here takes us all the way from the creation of the world to Adam and Eve, to Abraham and, Noah, to Abraham and Sarah, and then to Isaac and Rebekah, and then Jacob and Rachel and Leah, and it ends over here with the story of Joseph. Okay, stop rolling. Stop rolling. We got it. And now we're going to call our 7th graders to lead us in the blessing. 7th graders, please go under the chuppah. Let's have our 7th graders under the chuppah. 7th graders gather under the chuppah. And on the count of 3, you're going to lead us in the blessing. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch hu et Adonai. Everybody. Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. And you'll repeat that. Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natamanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Is it on?
Yep.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'haaretz hayeta tohu vavohu ve'choshech al panei tehom ve'ruach Elohim mirachefet al panei hamayim vayomer Elohim yehi or vayehi or vayar Elohim et haor ki tov vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachoshech vayikra Elohim laor yom v'lachoshech kara laila Vayehi erev, vayehi voker, yom echad. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was chaos and unformed, and there was darkness on the face of the deep. And God's Spirit moved over the waters, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness God called night, and there was evening and there was morning the first day.
And 7th graders, please lead us in the blessing after. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah ve'emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Beautiful. Well, now that we have completed the reading and started it over, it's time for some dancing. I'm going to ask Rabbi Falco, hold that side there. We're going to roll this side up so that it's not too lopsided. Melissa, will you take? And we're going to get ready to do some dancing with the Torah. If we can move away from the table a little bit. We're going to start our Hakafot. You just stay here. They're going to come to you.
Sure, sounds good.
And the...
There we go.
Now, there is a tradition that the light of Torah should never go out. So while we're taking the Torahs out, we're going to put a lit candle into the empty ark to remember the light of Torah. Now we're going to have 7 aliyot this evening, traditional 7. And I'd like to invite up for the first aliyah our board members, past board members, and committee chairs. Now we're going to call out, you can make a lot of noise in just a minute. We are going to call out different groups of people, like people who live in Manalapan, or people who live in Marlborough, or people who have multiple generations at the synagogue, or people who have been to Israel. If you hear your category called out and you would like to come and carry a Torah and lead the Hakafah, then just come to the front and we'll hand out Torahs and we'll have you lead the Hakafah, the procession, with the Torah. So if you are a board member, past board members, committee chairs, past committee chairs, if you are in sisterhood or men's club, come on up and grab a Torah so we can get the party started. When we get to the Marlboro. Okay. the next Aliyah,
And it's just like, okay, I'll bet.
we'd like to call up, if you are a new member to the synagogue, if you are a kindergarten family, students and their families, new members and kindergartners, please come, grab a Torah, and lead us in the next Hakafah.
Really?
Kindergarten families, come take a Torah.
He also promoted me to rabbi.
Oh, well,
His father was a rabbi, his father's father.
a long tradition thereof.
All rabbi.
Kindergarten families and new members, come on and grab a Torah. For the third Aliyah, have you been to Israel? Raise your hand. If you've been to Israel, come and take a Torah and lead the next Hakafah. Come on up. if you are a resident of the great town of Manalapan, come on down. Manalapan, if you live in Manalapan, come lead the Hakafah, come grab a Torah, and get dancing. All right. If you are a resident of Freehold or anywhere around Freehold, Colts Neck, Howell, Old Bridge, Homedale, Lakewood, Jackson, the Shore, Eatontown, if I forgot you, just come on up.
Ocean County.
Freehold to the Shore. Come on up, grab a Torah, and get dancing. I do want to give a special mention to Murray Cole, who brought his family Torah with him. Thank you, Murray, for allowing us to dance with it. Not everybody has a family Torah, so it's really nice you brought it this evening. All right, for the second to last Hakafah, all my M-Towns, residents of Marlborough, Morganville, Monroe, Middletown, and Millstone, come on down. Marlboro, Morganville, Monroe, Middletown, and Millstone, come on down. As the Torahs are making their way forward, this last group is a really special group because there are some families in our congregation who are 3 generations, meaning the grandparents, parents, and grandchildren are part of the temple. And then we even have some 4-generation families where we have the grandparents, the parents, the grandchildren, and great-grandchildren who are members of our congregation. Like the Bursey family is one of those 4 generations. So if you are a 3 or 4 generation family of Temple Road of Torah, Temple Shari Emeth, please come on up and grab a Torah. Riley, this is your moment. putting the Torahs away, I just want to invite everyone to sit down. We're just going to finish with a song. On your way out, we have a special surprise for you. Just as we sang Sweet as Honey, we're going to end with Sweet as Gummy, because we have gummy bears for you. But I do want to point out, unfortunately, they may contain milk, eggs, soy, wheat, peanuts, and tree nuts. So if you have a nut allergy, a peanut allergy, milk, eggs, soy, please do not take these. I apologize. Next year we'll have something that everybody can enjoy. So first of all, let's give a big hand to the Shpilches, who kept us dancing all night. And let's conclude our service with a little bit of singing.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai.
Chag Sameach, everybody. Happy Simchat Torah.
All right. Excellent.
Chag Sameach, everybody.
Chag Sameach.
Happy Simchat Torah.
We're all good.
Great